Hello and greetings from Iceland. Like I mentioned the other day, I have a special treat for us all, or a new gadget for the channel. And the original plan was to drive to the city and pick it up at the store, but the weather was not in my favor as for using the trip for filming. So during a rainy day last week, I picked it up in the post box. And after I entered the code, it was the biggest door that opened up. And like you can see from the outer box, this is a drone update. And it became clear last year that DJI was updating the foldable drone flagship, the Mavic 3 Pro. And I got interested, of course. So I've been watching teasers for months now. And when the drone was finally released 2 weeks ago, it didn't take me long to figure out that this was pretty much what I had been waiting for. So what I got myself was the Creator Combo version that wasn't cheap, of course. And to go through this package, I sold my oldest drone, the Air 2S, or the first real drone that I used for the channel. I had tried to sell it for a while, so it was good to get it out from the storage the day when the Mavic 4 was released. And a few days later, I sold my DJI Air 3 model. That was in fact my backup drone, since my main filming drone the last months has been the Air 3S model, and that drone will become my backup model. And I'm of course keeping the drone with the thermal camera. I only use it for tasks like that, and it helped a lot as well that I have this little account that is called Buy Me Coffee, where viewers can pitch in for coffee, but that fund is actually used when I go through updates. So I'm going to say thanks again for pitching in over the years, because the Just Icelandic channel is not very big, although it gets a lot of attention during volcanic eruptions. But as for this upgrade and what it will do for the channel, in many cases you won't see any difference because my older drones did a good job while the conditions were good. But when it comes to the zoom camera, the change is enormous. Like the Air 3 model and the Air 3S model, they had a zoom camera, but with the Mavic 4 I'm getting the third camera, with way more zoom than I've ever had before. And that is a total game changer. And first of all, I can stay airborne longer, which means a lot in a windy country like Iceland. And the Mavic 4 has also more range. That makes it likely the best drone in the world to cover certain tasks, like volcanoes that are far away. And it so happens that we have 5 major systems showing strong signs of unrest, and some of them are even overdue. And those systems have one thing in common: it will be a major problem to get good footage from them, and not even a press pass will get us closer. So in addition to the battery lifetime and more range, 6 times optical zoom on a drone is very useful when it comes to those major systems. And my final decision was pending on how good the zoom lens would turn out to be. And this was my first test. This is the island Hrísey, 4 kilometers away from me. And I didn't even have to use a ferry to film there this time. I can almost see people in their gardens. So the sharpness from this distance is fantastic. And I didn't even shoot this in log format. This is just straight from the box auto settings. And this is why I love zoom lenses. And although they are of course bluffing a bit, making the background seem closer, that is often what I prefer, because that is what documenting is all about, to simplify things, and of course to see more. So this panning shot, it could be a comprehensive vegetation or lupine report that covers the whole island in less than a minute. So increased zoom, it's just a different way of storytelling. And the new drone will also help me with scenes like this. This is a shot from last year above an active crater. And when I'm looking at this clip today, I have the tendency to think, what if I had the new drone back then? Because while I was up there, I was having range problems. The mountain was blocking the signal. I was too high up for the wide lens, and I was using the zoom lens on the Air 3 model. But the new Mavic is not only going to get me closer without melting the drone, the zoom lens would reach all the way into the center of the action, where I have also the option to slow the footage down way more than before without any loss of quality. So the zoom lens alone is opening up a new way to film waterfalls, animals, and the lower f-number means better low light capability. That will also help. So I'm curious to see how the drone will work with the Northern Lights. And the reason why I got myself the Creator Combo package was, of course, the new remote. Not only do I have more control buttons, making it faster and simpler to make any changes while I'm flying, the screen brightness is also helping, and I am seeing on the screen pretty much what I can expect to see on a good computer screen. And that is where I have often been making little mistakes due to the lack of details on the screen while filming. So this is just a new layer of professionalism from DJI that are doing a fantastic job, as usual, and it will be very visible on my channel in future. But as for myself and other projects, this is an even larger step for still images, because the drones that I've been using so far were better with videos than still images. And the photos that I want to go after in future have one thing in common. I want them to be suitable for large format printing. And I have not been doing much work in that department for some time now. For me, this is about to generate the largest video information source out there about Iceland. And it's going to take me a few more years. So the new drone is not just helpful for the channel. It is helping me to market myself and my services here in Iceland, and I never expected to be filming a lupin field for one of my projects in late May, but that is what I was doing last weekend, happy as a horse in East Iceland. And I was also shooting additional footage for a video about fossils, so I can get that one online soon. The geology nerds on my channel will love it. And as I was driving back from this trip with a new drone, I heard it in the radio that I should consider to get the winter tires back under the car again if I were to do any mountain roads soon. And that didn't sit well with me. The Icelandic weather is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And you might find a frozen bit of chocolate beside the melted one. And this cold weather we are having now made me think about last summer, the worst summer in Iceland in decades. Week after week with dull and thick and grey overcast. And I'm not in the mood for another dull summer. And this is even worse for the birds, of course, during the nesting season. And farmers are getting the sheep in the house again while the worst blows over. And I hope it's not going to be as bad as predicted, but it could be. So the next days will be dedicated to video production, and I have to learn a bit more about the new drone. It's always plenty to do, but it's of course too early to say that this summer will be as hopeless as last summer. I can handle the cold up to a certain limit if I get decent light, but this is however the flip side of Iceland. All those disappointed Icelanders sitting outside their summer houses, dressed like Eskimos over the barbecue, holding the stakes down so they won't go with the wind. And if weather patterns like this continue for too long, we tend to flock out of the country. So I really hope that we won't get another bummer summer like last year. But this is not just a summer bummer. I really like the new drone, and I know that we will all enjoy what it can do. So many thanks for backing up the channel. That will only grow and improve by time. And with that, I'm sending you best regards from the volcano island, Iceland.